Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Obama has now turned his death-dealing policies to the home of his ancestors, Africa. That's right, he's not a racist. He'll institute policies and push agendas that will kill anyone, regardless of their skin color. But you got to give this guy credit. He's sticking to his game plan of attacking the Catholic Church and keeping it off guard so he can impose his socialistic tyranny at home and abroad. Two examples point this out perfectly. Number one, a cardinal in Africa said earlier this week that the West, read the United States, is imposing what he calls a cultural imperialism on Africa's populations. How? By aggressively pushing contraception and homosexuality as well as abortion in numerous countries in an effort to destabilize the African family. The U.S. is tying financial aid packages to Africa's acceptance of these immoral practices. I think they still call that extortion, don't they? Or in the case of the Obama White House, they call it foreign policy. After decades of insidiously dismantling the family in the West, socialists have stepped up the pace with poor countries. See, poor countries are reeling from the global economic downturn and desperate for help. So, along come Obama and Hillary Clinton and the whole gang of Planned Parenthood and gay rights for Africans and so on and so forth with a slimy proposition. You surrender your centuries-old family's values and customs and traditions, and we'll give you money and condoms and low-priced abortions. We'll do for you in just one generation what it took us almost 3 generations to accomplish in our own country. This is all being orchestrated through international groups like the UN Population Council, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, International Planned Parenthood, the Global Gay Rights Initiative. And of course, who is the lone voice standing in opposition to the planned destruction of the African family? The Catholic Church. Until this cardinal raised his voice, no one knew a thing about this. This is another example of why, when it comes to Obama and the Catholic Church, this town isn't big enough for both of us. So the church must be marginalized. It's simply too much of an obstacle for Obama and his cronies. Example number 2 of how Obama attacks the church was voiced by no less than the U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, who said he was getting pretty ticked off at the media, constantly pointing out that 6 of the 9 justices now sitting on the court are Catholic. Imagine for a second if the media pointed out incessantly that 6 of the 9 of them were Jewish or Muslim. There'd be hell to pay, but of course the media would never do that. It's unusual for a junior jurist on the High Court to say much publicly, much less than to openly criticize the media for religious bias. Of course, the mainstream media have been nothing less than cheerleaders and pom-pom waving fanatics for Obama and his policies. So, can't let a moment go by without piling on against the church. Any Catholic who thinks these are just bumps in the road and thinks that soon things will be good again is fooling himself. What's being set up by the enemies of the church is an assault against the faithful to do away with us. The time is coming, and perhaps sooner than we realize, when the storm breaks, and it will, remember to stand firm in the faith and pay the ultimate price for Christ and the truth. Blessed are you when men persecute you and revile you and speak all kind of calumny against you for my name's sake. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets before you. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.